So a while ago, I made a video starting as Oman with the goal of forming the Mughals and getting the third way achievement. That was part 1, and this is part 2, so go watch that video first if you haven't and come back to resume the story of the Ibadi Mughals. Let's take a minute to examine the state of our nation. This is what my game looked like in 1477. We have 185 development under our control, and 219 including our 2 vassals, Basra and Iraq. We have secured alliances in both the Ottoman Empire and the Bahmani Sultanate. Our main priority is to take Afghani culture provinces, so we can culture shift and fulfill the cultural requirement for forming the Mughals. After that, we'll need to take a few Indian provinces and form the Mughals. The main issue here is the alliance chains. Afghanistan is allied to Transoxiana, Uzbek, which is now Bukhara, and Delhi. Due to this, I needed to formulate a plan on how to tackle not just this alliance chain, but all the alliance chains in India. I could either hire a lot of mercenaries and declare war on Afghanistan alone, or curry favors with Bahmanis and declare war on Afghanistan. They didn't have the distant war modifier, so it was possible once I fixed my reputation from vassal annexation and got the favors. Due to high relations, I got the favors I needed in just a few years. Not only that, but Afghanistan found themselves in a huge war involving most of North India, Transoxiana, and Bukhara. Exploiting this, I declared war and laid siege to Afghanistan's mountain forts, took battles when I could, and took the help I could from Bahmanis. After a few years, I took Delhi's money, a white peace with Bukhara, and finally took a good balance between a lot of Afghani culture provinces and avoiding too much aggressive expansion. By the way, if you've enjoyed this video so far, then please like and comment on what I could do better. Thank you. The requirements to shift culture are to have your target culture be 50% of the development in states. To do this, I cored all the provinces I took from Afghanistan and made them into states. I unstated all of my old provinces except my capital state, because you can't, and Hormuz. Finally, I developed Afghani provinces a few times. With Afghani culture now over 50% of my stated development, Oman was now Afghan. The requirements for forming the Mughals are now in the Decisions tab. With our culture shift out of the way, we are free to concentrate development and state whatever we'd like in our future conquest. Firstly, you should state most of your old provinces, and this is why admin power was very valuable to us. We need to make them full cores again. By now I also started integrating Basra. I want to make a quick note on expansion. This is not a Mughal speedrun. We are not going to exert all of our efforts into securing Delhi and the Indian provinces required to form the Mughals immediately. Rather, we'll continue our casual expansion and focus on growing our army and economy. Delhi is usually too strong for you to even deal with anyways, so for now, I turned to Arabia to clean it up a bit. After Aniza somehow beat Medina in a war, I decided it would be a good idea to vassalize them. The war was easy, so not only did Medina become a vassal, but I also annexed Ta'if and Mecca for the monument. Do note that if you get it, it will probably be at the insignificant level, and it costs 1,000 ducats to upgrade it, which is quite tough. Money will be quite hard to come by for most of the early game, and if it weren't obvious, I've been running burger loans this entire time. If you're desperate for money, then remember you can always seize land, trade favors for trust, or debase currency and use the legalism interaction. You should be near or at max legalism without even trying because of declaring war on heretics and heathens. Right after vassalizing Medina, I declared war on Aniza to take back their cores and feed all of Aniza to Medina. I also forced my religion on Hisn Kaifa after taking their capital. Forcing religion on OPMs is a good thing since it converts their only province at no cost, and spreading Ibadi is exactly what we want. I got a discounted missionary strength guy and began converting a lot. Like, a lot. Even the Indian domains were starting to look dark green. We should have pretty high missionary strength even though we haven't taken religious yet, so just run the missionary strength edict and convert away. You see, despite me being the best EU4 player in my room, I am not the best. I made the not-so-great decision to attack QQ, and their allies defeated me a few times. The good thing was I had tons of favors with the Ottomans, so I simply called them in and let them deal with it. Afterwards, I took a peace deal that wasn't 100%, simply giving 3 provinces to Iraq. Because of innovative ideas, and stupidly overpowered Leviathan, you'll be getting 6 innovativeness just for taking tech early. Innovativeness gives decreased all-power costs, and by 1500, I had around 27 innovativeness. So take tech early when you can. This will primarily be Diplotech as you should also be filling out offensive ideas from now. After taking reduced tech from innovative ideas, he should stop focusing on the ideas and get to tech 7. This is usually not a good idea, but here I think it was. Remember your feudal theocracy interactions. The claims will especially be useful in these times instead of waiting for a spy network. You should also cross the 300 dev mark by now, meaning you can manually upgrade yourself to a kingdom. Had we been of Omani culture, this would make us a sultanate, but since we're now Afghan, this makes us a shahdom. Despite my attention in the West, I was still planning to liberate Delhi. My alliance with them was broken after they rivaled me, followed by them securing strong alliances. This basically made them the second Afghanistan for me. Will I ever catch a break? So I began improving relations with Jaunpur to attack them in a two-front war and just begin weakening them. We won't take the province of Delhi itself in our first war, rather we'll gradually expand into the Delhi Sultanate until it's in our grasp. Our alliance with Jaunpur is, of course, quite temporary. After noticing I was 2 techs ahead of Sindh and Delhi, I moved my troops to the Indian side and called in Bahmanis against Sindh. I simply wanted to weaken Delhi in this war by breaking alliances and taking cash. An Omani army of 20,000 marched on the Sindhi capital and put it to siege. Our allies in the south, not to be disappointing, made the Jugarat capital fall and they were quickly drawn out of the war. Our terms were simply to break their alliance with Jaunpur, who the Omani Shahdom was also allied with, and to pay a small amount of money to be distributed among the Shahs of Oman and Bahmanis. After the fall of Thatta, the armies of Bahmanis traveled to the walls of Delhi, the cannons roared, and the walls fell. However, in a last stand, the Sultan of Delhi positioned 30,000 men to liberate his capital, which fell while the Omanis were besieging nearby Mewat. But the Sultan had only liberated his capital for a few months, for the Omani army marched back to the city and captured it once more. Despite the capital being under Omani martial law, the stubborn Sultan refused to concede any major concessions to the triumphant Omani state. For this, Oman laid siege to India, leaving the Sultan with nothing except his outposts in the Himalayas and his last outpost in Ranthambore. Even then, the Sultan refused Oman's demands, so the Himalayas were seized and Ranthambore besieged. Seeing no way out, the Sultan agreed to dismiss both of his major allies and transfer nearly all of his state's treasury on top of what the soldiers of Oman looted in India. With Delhi now neutralized and Oman's biggest victory since the defeat of Hormuz, Oman finally made peace with their war target in name, the Sultanate of Sindh. Entrepreneurially, the Shah founded the Afghan West India Company and gave the state enterprise the responsibility of administering these lands. He knew that the company would have to cease existence once he formed the Mughals, but this was but a temporary trade company to maximize profits from India. Alright, I'll get out of the documentary tone now. Right after finishing up Sindh, the Timurids were getting beaten up on all sides. Not to let the opportunity go by, I readied my armies by the border and declared war. Needless to say, this was pretty chill. I got the plus 20% siege ability from offensive ideas, so this was a piece of cake. From this war, I released Fars and connected my 2 lands together. By now, the economy also seemed really great, with an income of 40. The Ottomans called me into a war against the Mamluks, and stupid me thought they'd actually give me something out of it. Rather, they just annexed most of Syria for themselves. Bruh, memento. By this time, colonialism would have arrived. If you were playing faster pace, then you should have some stated Indian provinces with good terrain and trade goods, so simply spawn the institution there. If you're at my pace or slower, then simply wait to annex Iraq and spawn colonialism in Baghdad. I cleaned up Multan by taking a few provinces I had claims on, and released Punjab with the intention of vassalizing them and using their cores. However, Delhi declared war on them, which I was dragged into. This war was extremely hard, and after a while, I decided to get out of it quickly, instead of wasting so many resources on Punjab. I could release them another time. So I simply merked up, marched on Delhi, and pieced them out with a lot of money to pay back the loans I took during the war. This war was a terrible idea, as I now had to spend a few years chilling to recover my manpower. Don't do the mistakes I did. Only take wars when you're confident you can win it, and remember to always be leading in Miltech. I don't think I'll have to be explaining much here, since by this point you should be powerful enough to do whatever you really want. After my Delhi war, I spent a few years chilling to get my manpower back and replace my original 4K merc company. I attacked Afghanistan using the claims I got from the feudal theocracy interaction and took some provinces in the peace deal. Yeah, so I simply attacked the Timurids and fed land to my vassal Fars and released Khorasan to feed them in the next war. Or should I say, Khorasan. This is getting quite repetitive, so I'm just gonna fast forward it. I was going to attack Delhi now, but the thing is I kinda forgot to record this part in my game, so I sadly don't have any footage of combat. But I can show you the peace deal I took, which was a snake to take both Delhi and Doaba. After this, I simply stayed at peace waiting for the provinces to core, and after putting Delhi in a state, we can now, finally, form the Mughals. The Mughals are often referred to as one of the single best nations in the game, and that is no exaggeration. Firstly, we have permanent claims on all Hindustani culture provinces. Next, Mughal ideas are built for blobbing. Thirdly, Mughal Diwan is an OP mechanic that effectively lets you accept a culture once you conquer all provinces, and gives you a bonus for conquering an entire culture group. Finally, the Mughal mission tree is also pretty nice for blobbing. I hope you enjoyed this guide and you venture to start as our Omani friends when you seek out to get the 3rd way achievement. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to see me in the future. Thank you, and have a nice day.